You are listening to the Let's Chat Soon podcast.
We are so excited that you're embarking on this journey with us. Let's Chat Soon is a space where we chat all things body, soul, and spirit. How when you align all three, you unlock a full life. A healthy you
is the best gift you can give to grow the kingdom and to those you love.
We did some teamwork today on today's intro.
Welcome back. I'm your host, Alexis.
And I'm Mackenzie. Today we are on our part 2. If you've not listened to part 1, stop right now and go back and listen to it. Actually, you guys are probably adjusting with the titles of who you relate more to. Truly. Comment down below who you relate more to.
Yeah, we need a team. Team Lexi, team Mackenzie. That's kind of giving crazy, but
that's kind of giving insane.
Yeah.
Do you want to settle down and be a mom?
Or if you don't relate at all, and you're like, these girls are insane.
These girls are actually wild. Both of their accusations, insanity. Genuinely insane.
I need to know.
No, truly. But today, Alexis is in the hot seat.
I'm going through the quarter life crisis, guys.
What is your quarter life crisis? Share with our people.
My quarter life crisis is that I think I'm already grieving being single. I already miss being single, and I'm still single. I'm still very much single. And I'm wait, I don't want this to end. But in a way, not that I'm I want to run around and just be weird.
Thank God, because I don't know how I could do singleness without you, because everyone else is married and all the things. So if you were not in this with me, I would probably be saying F everything I said in the last episode, and I'm just gonna marry the random man on the street.
Yeah, literally. No, it's way easier to have people that in your life that are also single.
Oh my gosh, there's life hack number 1. We're already dropping some great information. If you
if you're single, you cannot have all married friends.
No, and at least in your core inner circle of people you hang out with 24/7.
Yeah.
It's great to have married friends, obviously.
100%. I love my married friends. I love it because you get 2 friends in one. When I'm hanging out with my married friend, we're also with the husband. So it's it's fun.
That's crazy. I hate men, so I don't want that. No, I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. All my friends' husbands right now who because my podcast will certain times just stream on their YouTube up next.
Oh, that's
and
so funny.
My face will be on their screen, and they're like, "Oh, I came home and my husband just has your podcast on the screen."
Hey,
I'm like, "Oh my gosh,
I love that."
It's cute until it's me on a massive big screen.
I hate all of you.
The people asking for us to get on video, we have some comments on YouTube of people being "Get the videos up."
Ooh.
No.
No.
Give us 6 weeks. No,
yeah.
8 weeks.
Yeah.
I don't know. Wait till we have a home.
Yeah.
And then maybe.
Yeah. We can crop them in the reels to make it look a certain way.
Literally. This episode's coming out when we're in Asia. This episode is coming out when we are literally in Thailand.
Oh, wow. Okay. Hi, future me.
Hi, future me.
Don't do anything I wouldn't do or do.
Actually, please do.
Yeah. Oh, man. All right.
I feel this trip is just capitalizing on you, on this entirely, and on you just basically saying okay, screw this mindset of I'm not going to miss it. I'm going to take advantage of all of this.
Yeah. I think I've never done this before. And I'm kind of surprising myself. So we talked in part 1 where it was I attach to men or boys in relationships when they have big plans and want a big future, because I also want that, but I don't think I was ever very secure in my own ideas of what that looked like. And so if they already have a path that's kind of put out and they know exactly what they want, career-wise, I'm oh, great, let's do this together. I can help in this way. I can do this and we can build this to the moon, and this is amazing. But I think I've realized that me wanting that lifestyle and having the husband and having that person be my husband was almost the idea that I could never do that on my own.
Oh.
So I just had these mental blocks or mental blocks about myself and what I was capable of, where I had to attach to a guy that already had these big things going on, because yes, I wanted that, but I didn't think I could do it by myself. And so I think now, literally in this short amount of time that I've been single, I'm wait a second, why am I wasting my time being with somebody else when I literally can go travel across the world by myself? Obviously we're going together, but right. I always thought I needed a man to go do that. And, like, there's part of me where I say, like, I do want to experience that with my future husband. I think there's something so special about, like, having something you truly care about. And so I've never been someone that's like, oh, I want to just go solo travel. Like, I don't think that does anything for me. I'm a person that wants that connection and wants to experience things with people I love. But it's like, okay, I'm going with you. Like, hello. Like, my best friend. Like, I don't know. It's just, it's opened my eyes because I've always just been somebody that's so attached in that way.
Yeah.
And it's almost like I like the person for what the future could hold with them.
Right.
Like, the idea of what they could become.
Yeah. What made you come to the realization that, or honestly, not even the realization, because I can see how you came to the realization, but get the confidence to be like, oh, actually, I don't need a guy to do that. Was it like pushing the boundaries of that?
I think I just realized, like, in my past relationship, I wanted to do a bunch of things that we didn't do. And I was like, I'm kind of sick of just not doing them yet because the other person isn't ready, or I don't have the other person. Like, why am I just not doing it myself?
Right.
And also, like, us becoming friends, like, I think I've realized, like, oh, like, I've never really had really close friends, this is crazy, that align and have, like, the same wants and desires. Even though, like, we're different in ways, we have, like, the same core values. I don't know. I've always had, like, my bestest friends were married.
Right.
And so it's like, we talked about this in the last episode, like, you need people that are in the same season of life with you, doing life with you, because, yeah, it's just hard to, like, relate to somebody. And so I think that's why I always attached to, like, the boyfriend, because we were both building the same thing, even though it was his ideas and his plans. Yeah.
That's a crazy realization to have. And I think it's so cool, too, because you still are taking things from other people. It's not like, I think certain times people would hear that and be like, okay, I need to just, like, shut out everyone and get into this, like, hyper independent everything and just, like, lock the doors, get in a room by myself and build something. That is entirely the opposite of what you're doing.
No. I still, like, I literally was just on a trip in Costa Rica, and it was, like, a whole, like, everyone was kind of entrepreneurs. Everyone kind of had the same mindset. And I think that's also, like, those kind of experiences help open my mind to be like, oh, these people are also doing it by themselves, but in community. It's not in a relationship. I don't know. I think I also had this idea from seeing my parents, because they've been married and they built their businesses and built everything together. And I love that. Like, I do want that for my future as well someday. But obviously it wasn't in the cards for me to be married by now, like, or I would be. And so why am I waiting to do the things I really want to do until I have a guy around? We're not doing that anymore. And it's, like, scary because
it's terrifying.
It's terrifying.
The security aspect of a man, because I feel like guys are just, again, have the more, like, masculine characteristics where it's like, oh, I feel comfortable because, like, you've got it. Like, you've got things and we're in this partnership together. So when I fall, it's a we fall, and it feels less like you're alone in it. When like, as close as you can be with a friend, when you screw up financially, you screw up financially. It's you. But it's also equally challenging of, okay, when I screw up, I screw up. And I now have to take responsibility for it, and I can't blame anyone other than myself. But also in the same way, when I succeed, I succeed.
Yeah.
And, like, I did that on my own.
Yeah. I think I've, like, always wanted that for myself. Like, from a young age, even in high school, like, I think that's why I say I want to be famous. Because it's like, oh, I want to prove that I can do something. And I don't know, it's like a balance, because I still want that life, the marriage and the kids. But I don't think I want it as soon as I've been telling myself I want it. Like, there's still so many things that I want to do before that I'm realizing I actually can do before that.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I don't know, it's weird.
I feel like we almost, like, our desires are exactly the same almost. Well, I don't know how to put this. Like, yours is the expectation that, like, you had this expectation for yourself that your life was going to look like something. Meanwhile, like, mine is the desire. And it's now, like, watching them equally play out in different ways.
I think mine came very much from, like, expectation. I don't know. I say that, but also, like, I have journal entries from literally me being, like, 9 years old. And it was, like, I have these, like, pictures of my scrapbook that my mom made. And it was, like, draw your future life, like, by the time you're 20 and 25. And it was always a husband and children.
Yeah. But it's still expectation you had for yourself.
Yeah.
I never had that expectation for myself. It's still a desire, but not a desire.
Right.
Maybe, like,
I say expectation because, like, I think of expectation as society norms and, like, I should be kind of on this path, even though in our today's age,
That's
it's
not
not
society
really
norm.
true an expectation because women aren't getting married and having kids till 30s. I'm only 26. So, like, but yeah, I think it's always been a desire on my heart coming from a young age. I kind of had this internal dialogue going on in my head because in this past relationship, I was like, I want the marriage and the kids. And then when I got out of it, I was like, wait, maybe I don't want that. Maybe I want to do all these things for myself first and then have the marriage and the kids. And I was like, okay, is this me just being jaded and like kind of being like, well, fine, yeah, I don't want that anyways because it didn't work out? Or is this like truly me realizing that I want to do these things and that I can do these things, and so I'm holding it off? I don't think I've like came to a conclusion of that quite. Like, yes, this is exactly how I feel. I would say more like my mindset now is like, no, I think I truly just realized I can do all these things on my own and I don't need a man for them, more than the aspect of me feeling jaded and resenting whatever that past relationship was. But also I can change my mind tomorrow, so.
Right, exactly.
Who knows?
This podcast
Literally.
is very much about that as we're
yeah.
navigating through it and literally moving a million miles an hour right now.
Yeah.
But I think that's, like, that was honestly my next question of, like, is that the driving factor behind it? And I think sometimes it's so funny because guys will totally, and this works vice versa, and I've had this happen to me as well as from me, of a guy will almost break up with me for a certain reason, and then I'll become everything he wanted me to be, and I'm like, oh, sorry.
Yeah, that's where I've been like questioning with myself because.
But I needed him to leave in order for me to do that.
Right. Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't be this person if we were still together.
Right.
So, like, sorry.
Yeah.
But also, like, does that fall on, I'm like, does that fall on me or does that fall on a guy? Because it's like, well, because if a guy's out looking and they're looking for someone with those characteristics, then they find you, but then they like dumb that part of your personality down, so to speak. Like, is that on them?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Wait, I'm confused.
Because I'm saying, like, okay, you became this person post-relationship who, like, now wants to travel and wants to do these things and build something and whatever else.
He wanted.
And that's what he wanted.
Yeah.
And say you guys have literally never met, you're strangers in the world, and you guys approach each other and he's like, oh my gosh, you're exactly what I want. But if the relationship beforehand made you become this person who was like attaching onto his ideas and whatever, would you become that again?
Right.
So, like, is it a him issue or is it like you just need to learn these things on your own?
Yeah.
And then you could get into a relationship not with him again, but like with someone like him who is desiring you to be the person who builds things? Or is it like, was it on the
Yeah.
like,
yeah,
would
no,
you be able to get
sense.
into a relationship and keep this?
Right. That's like,
this.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I feel like that will be the true test because, but also, is it me just taking advantage of me being single and being able to do whatever I want?
Right.
Because when I do meet the right person, I do want the marriage and kids part too.
Yeah.
I want both though.
Right.
Yeah. It gets messy. It's like, okay, like, what do you actually want? But also, like, it doesn't really matter because either way, I feel like I'm still enjoying whatever this is, whatever it looks like. And until literally, like, the perfect person from Jesus himself plops in my lap, like, I don't want anything less. Like, yeah.
And that's literally what I've said. I'm like, at this point, God's got to bring him down.
Yeah. He's got to, like, hold his hand and, like, introduce us.
Like,
no, literally. Because also it gets scarier, which I feel like I've said before on the podcast, but it gets scarier the older you get dating, I think. Because it's like, oh, I almost thought all of these people were my future husband. So, like, I think I don't attach to people I'm meeting as easily as, like, oh, they might be my future husband. Because I'm like, oh, I've said this before. Like, how do you know if they're the one? Like, literally, how do you know? Everyone's like, oh, you know. You'll know when you know. And I'm like,
I thought I've known.
And I'm wrong. So, like, now I'm just like, I don't know.
That's why I ask.
Like, I probably will say no if somebody proposes it like that. That's what I'm saying. Like, they literally will have to be perfect. That's crazy. Not actually.
The bar for perfect is pretty low, I'm gonna be honest. So
No.
I mean, you said that. You're like, oh my gosh, one man who wants to settle down and have kids. He's great. No. Oh.
Yeah.
Like, he's just one man who wants to do that.
Yeah.
Like, the bar is so low.
Yeah. Yeah, but also I'm just like, I don't know. I also think I've spent so much of my 20s in these long-term relationships, like focusing so much on the next step and like the future that I'm kind of just like burnt out from it. I'm like, I'm ready to just like not think about it. Like my mind, my mental capacity literally cannot think about this thing anymore, even though I still want a future one day with somebody.
Right.
And
It's
future
not
kids.
you rejecting that next phase.
Yeah. I still fully want that. I'm not like being like, never, I'm going to, travel forever, become a nun. I might joke about that, but it's not actually how I feel. But also, I'm just like, I'm just so burnt out. Like,
yeah,
I'm like tired of it that I just want to like live for me for a while.
Right. You've spent 5-6 years doing that. You're like, nope, I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I'm like 2 years ahead of you.
Yeah.
In that mindset where I totally did that. Like I moved to England and was like, I'm not talking to a boy.
Yeah.
Period. I'm good. I was like, nope, I could literally care less. Like a man would look at me in the street and I'm like, what are you?
Yeah.
Literally, what do you have to offer to my life
Yeah.
right now? And it's like, sure, a man might have something to offer to your life down the road, but it's like right now, nope. I'm really okay.
And I think too, when you are trying to figure out like exactly what you want and building your own things, which is what I'm trying to do, it becomes distracting. So distracting for me, at least. Like,
yeah,
because then I'm pulled away from what I actually want to do, and then I start getting into their plans, and I confuse myself of what I actually want.
And it happens subconsciously too, because
yeah,
even as I was saying in the first episode of like, oh, his plans were this, or like his desires for me to want to do something were this, and he's not even directly controlling me, but because I know he wants these things, I'm going to kind of adhere to that naturally.
Yeah.
But I don't want to be doing that. Like I want to sit down and focus on my own goals and work towards that.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't think it's like a bad thing if when I do meet a man, if he's my husband, to build something with him. Like, that's beautiful. I love that. I'm not saying it's like bad. Like, no, never. Like, always focus on yourself. Always be isolated and drive for your own good and your own like outcomes. But I think I just do it too fast.
Yeah. I want you to go back to the point on community, how I was saying of like, we're not closing out and just like being independent and driving, whatever. It almost seems like since the season of your life, you're building more with people than you ever have.
Yes. And I think singleness allows you to do that because, I mean, just like the point blank reality of when you're single, you can talk to boys as a friend, as a business partner. And it's like,
you don't have to ask someone's permission to do so.
Yes, exactly. You're not asking anyone's permission. So you can literally talk to whoever you want, do whatever you want, make your own decisions. I think I'm flying out to California this week. I don't have to ask anyone like, hey, is it okay if I like go out for this trip, for this like business trip? No, I'm literally just making my own decisions. And that allows me to tap into so many different communities because I can hop around. And yeah, I think it just all comes back to when I'm in a relationship, I'm going to respect the other person and how they feel and ask them, because I don't want a relationship where it's just like us living our separate lives and we never come back together. But while you're single, like that, take advantage of that.
Right.
Like, run with it. And I think that's what I've found. Like, I've always just been cooped up, and it's not necessarily that the man or my boyfriends have made me that way, like in a controlling manner. I definitely, yes, have had a controlling boyfriend before, but I would say like the past few relationships were not controlling at all, but it was my desire to be with them. And so I'm not going to be disrespectful and, do all these crazy things. Not that it's coming off wrong, I feel like, because it's not like,
I feel like anyone who's been in a serious relationship can understand that. It's like you just out of respect for your partner in the same way they want to just like gallivant off with a group of girls who are like grinding a business.
Or get up and go on a trip and leave.
Right. Whoops.
Well, maybe my ex. But anyways. They wouldn't just book a one-way ticket.
But we are both doing that right now.
Yeah, because we can.
Because we can.
That's my thing. I think that's why I am so okay with being single and I don't want a relationship, because literally, if I want to stay in Bali, I want to stay in Bali. I don't want to have to come back. I don't want to be told what to do. Like, I'm sick of like literally playing in this game or like playing in these like lines. I'm just like, I think it's funny because I'm literally 25 and I feel like I'm just like, I'm free, like freedom. Like,
yeah, you really have been in relationships all your life.
Yes.
I think
I'm realizing that because it doesn't feel like that.
You had this realization this week, and I can tell because I feel like you got out of this relationship and you kind of like freaked out for a second.
I was
like,
panicking.
oh my gosh, I'm alone, and kind of like latched around a little bit. And then now it's like, oh my gosh, wait, I'm free.
I I'm like, yeah, repulsed by the idea of being like tied down. This is new too. Yeah, this is new.
Again, we haven't seen each other in 2 weeks.
I was in Arizona with my family, and then I was in Costa Rica, and I think it was just being around all these people that were just like, oh, I'm gonna get on a flight here. I can go do this. I can start this with this person, and it was like, whoa, like I've always had those desires, but I didn't think it was possible, and now it was like the perfect match of like realizing I can do this for myself and I am capable of these things, and realizing that I have to be single kind of to be able to do these things, and I want that.
I was about to say the second point, like it's so difficult being a woman because a lot of these spaces are run by men. Like a lot of these spaces that we're trying to tap into business wise are run by men. And if you have different creative talents, like for instance, like I am more of a creative, I work more in this ways. I need a tech guy really badly. And if I don't marry one, I need to go into business with one. So it's like, okay, I need to put myself in these positions where I can get in line with someone. Love for it to be a female, truly, but also like sometimes we're going to business with another female can be very difficult. And I grew up around brothers and things like that. So
we've talked about this before, and like I feel like when I say it, I'm like, oh, I feel pick me or whatever when I say it, but I work well with masculine energy.
Yeah.
I always have, like really since high school.
Very much same. So I feel like it is something to take advantage of in your singleness, because you can just be like on a very friend term, but it would kind of seem disrespectful to just like go out to dinner with a random guy and be like, hey, let's talk business.
Right. I would never do that if I'm in a relationship.
Also, that just seems so masculine energy. Yeah. So like a guy would be like, oh, that is either offensive or like you're very masculine.
Yeah. Which is, they don't want that.
Either way, it's kind of like, oh.
Yeah. And I just would never, like, I would not want my boyfriend going out to dinner with a woman, so I wouldn't do that in a relationship. And I think that's why I've like had so many constraints on like what I can do, because I've been in relationships my entire 20s.
I cannot believe how different we are than 2 months ago.
I know.
Genuinely.
I need to listen back to like the We Broke Up episode where I was like sending subliminal messages hoping he would listen to it so that we would get back together.
As I was trying to edit them out. Truly.
And like I still stand by, I'm glad we had a relationship. I'm glad we had adventures. We loved each other. Like no hate to him. Still no hate to him. But I'm like, whoa, I feel like I've just like sped up learning about myself. And it just feels so weird because when I was in that relationship, I knew what I wanted. I kind of thought, and and I still want that, but it's like I've just kind of found this like whole different version of myself.
Yeah. I think the reason I was just thinking about this as we're just like processing of like, oh my gosh, how much has happened in the last 2 months. I think I'm attracted to the type of guy who is very about all of this.
Yeah, me too.
Like, for instance, like as we were around him, we learned so much from him. Like, so much of what we're talking about is literally credit to him in a lot of ways. And I feel like because I'm attracted to that, it makes it very easy for me to desire the marriage and kids and also desire this, because I know the man I'm going to end up with is going to help me do both. And he's going to help me network, and he's going to help me do all of this stuff where like he's going to put me in the right room for my business to also flourish.
I think this is something I've realized too.
Which hasn't been your normal type.
But no.
Oh, so you're shifting to my type.
Yes. No, like literally. It's literally attributed to like this trip. Like seeing that can be possible.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, you can, I don't know. But because, it's like almost I forced my wanting to build with someone when they didn't want to build anything.
Yeah.
And it's like,
And also it's like you can build something separate. Like
100%.
That guy that I'm talking about, he was building something, but he also had such a good network and be like, oh, let me connect you with this person. Oh, let me connect you with this person. And I definitely, even like friendship wise or dating wise, I'm so attracted to that in a human being. And it's now like happening 24/7. I'm like, oh my gosh, the network that I have since getting out of a relationship is insane. I am genuinely in rooms where I'm like, oh, I will never run into my ex here because he can't afford to be here.
It's wild.
But I don't make as much money as him. I'm just
yapping.
Putting myself in the right places.
It's that all ties into like how I'm loving being single because I can literally just put myself in these pockets and like meet so many different people and have these insane experiences that I know I'm going to be grateful looking back when I am married, settled down with kids, and be like, I'm so glad I did that because I've always wanted it. I think, like, I literally, in that video that went viral on Instagram where I'm crying and I'm like, I just feel like there's something more. I think this is the something more I was searching for.
Yeah.
Which is like, it's been, 4 years since I made that video? Like, it's taken me 4 years to find it. But I think, like, this is what I knew it was out there. Like, I knew there was this lifestyle, like, waiting almost. I just had to, like, it took me a minute, but
yeah. I think so many times when I would hear girls talk about this, I think I was hearing it not from a wholesome grow a business side. I was hearing it more from like I want to hang out with a million guys. I want to do this, yada, yada, whatever. And I think there's a lot of that of like, oh, I just want to be able to be friends with guys. Again, I'm realizing how masculine we are as we're sitting here talking about this of being like, I just want to network with men.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, who are we?
I know. But it's so interesting because like literally our part 1 episode, we're talking about how feminine we are because I do have that nurturing side and that's what makes me want to be a mom so bad. Like when I see children out, when I'm, out and about and I see kids, I'm like, oh my gosh, my ovaries are literally screaming at me because like I'm like, oh, I could just sit in a house and like tend to my children.
Yeah.
And like, I think I see that and I have that idea and it's there, but I also have this other side of me. It's like an alter ego that's like, let's go out and freaking crush it. And like the competitive nature and just the grind mentality. Like, I don't know. It's like fun right now.
These 2 episodes are proving that you could be feminine in relationships and in the home and you can be masculine in your job.
Yes. Oh, 100%. Lauren Bostick has said this literally on one of her recent podcasts. I think she was like, I'm very feminine in the home. Like I am the mom. I am cooking. I'm cleaning. I'm making the home like with lighting it with candles and making it calm and relaxing. And everyone comes home and they're just at peace. But in the office, like I'm balls to the walls. Like,
right.
You don't mess with me. Like, let's get crap done. Yeah. And I relate to that so much.
Yeah. It's so hard in having conversations with guys about this because certain times I'll walk into relationships and be like, I am so girl boss. I want to build a multi-million billion-dollar company, but I also like want to stay at home. I could decide on a given day. And there's no shot I ever decide like not to have kids, truly.
No.
But
yeah.
On a given day, I could be like, okay, I want to build the multi-billion-dollar business. The next day, I could be like, I want to stay at home with the kids and never work a job again. Mm-hmm. And I need the man I'm married to be okay with both of those things.
100%. Same. It's just somebody being okay with you changing your mind. I've always been like an advocate for this.
Yeah.
And I think we've like talked about this so many times. Like why, which I think this is like kind of an old idea, but it's the idea of like getting a job and like working the same thing and like going on this path. I think we both have like seen so many different paths. And I think it's also like where we live a little bit too.
Yeah.
Our eyes are open to so many different opportunities. And you're like, the sky just keeps getting higher and higher. And you're like, whoa, like so much is possible. I think this isn't about like rejecting the next phase. Like I've talked about this. Like it's not that I don't want these things, but I feel like it's fully allowing myself to like experience this one and fully like live it to fruition to see what I'm capable of and to see how far I can take it. And then I just think like it's going to happen naturally. Like whenever the next phase is ready, it will come. Hopefully. I mean, that's not to say I still don't stay up some nights late and be like, oh no, I'm going to be alone forever.
I'm never going to get married.
I'm never going to get married. I'm never going to have kids. I mean, what was it? Like a month ago, I was sending you crying Snapchats watching birthing videos because I'm like, I will never get to birth a child, will I? Like, so I'm not saying like, I figured it all out, guys. Like, I'm just cool. Happen when it happened. No, like there's days where I'm like, oh no, like I'm 26.
And obviously you guys know that there is more than one day of the week when I am sitting there sobbing, being like, oh no, I need to be married with kids right now. But then I'm also like I'm so in this as well. I don't know. I don't know. And yeah, it's the question of like, okay, is this masculine energy scaring guys off? I'm just going to go with yes, that it is. And I'm intimidating.
Yeah, mm-hmm. I think both sides are too. And it comes back to like when you're talking to men that don't truly know what they want. Because I've had boyfriends where they want the business side and the growth side, but they don't want me talking about kids. Like I've been hanging out with my boyfriend and he's like, can you stop talking about wanting kids?
Like we could genuinely not be a better balance of both things.
I feel like we are both the perfect. Like, I'm like, how? Like I will support you, grow you, and tend to your offspring.
Yeah, no, literally. And I think even if I decide at the end of the day, like, I don't want to grow my own business, I don't want to do those things, I think learning all of this right now, I just know I'm going to marry someone who is successful, who is an entrepreneur, who is doing all of these things because that's just innately what I'm attracted to. I think learning these things now is also going to prepare me in a lot of ways to be a really good wife because he's going to be the person in a room who's networking. I can now step into that room and confidently hold myself and have those conversations and get a good read on people. And even if it's just his business that he's growing and I'm just the wife who stays at home with the kids, that is not a little job by any means at all. But I'm able to walk into that room and be like, that person's good, that person's not. I learned this from this person. I didn't learn that from that person. And I'm such an asset as a wife in a business way still. Even if I am not the one running the company, bringing in the income, I am such an asset in his career too.
Yeah, I love that. Do you ever listen to Elena Cardone's podcast?
Mm-mm.
I have to send it to you. She talks a lot about like being that power couple, but being like, she relates it to like the king and queen kind of analogy. And it's like a queen would do this for a king. Like this. I've quoted it a lot of different times of like her different analogies, but I do love that mindset.
And I would be happy to do that for my husband. Yeah. Like, genuinely so happy to do that.
That ties in the roles of like, you want to grow something, you want something to be bigger, but you also want to be the nurturing mom. That's what literally a queen does. It's building an empire.
Right. It's like being masculine, but in a feminine way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think that's what we need to kind of figure out in society. And I can't wait to have this similar conversation once we are married and
it's gonna be so
figure out like what that masculine piece that we both have looks like in a marriage of how to build up without overshadowing or how to build up without whatever else. Mm-hmm. And I think there's probably a struggle in that. And I'm sure people like us have a struggle in marriages of trying to figure out how to be and how not to be too much and how to be supportive and how all the different things.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll see you when
that happens. It literally, I think also like one last thing is why I'm so okay is because I've realized how fast life can churn in these past few months, like how quick things are just happening and changing, that I know it's not so much like, oh, it's going to take me years to find the guy and then get married and then have kids. I'm like, girl, the way I move, it could happen like literally next month and I could be popping out a kid in 9 months. Like,
yeah, right.
It just, life happens so fast.
It does.
And yeah, I think that's like also another aspect that gives me peace is it just truly, life is so fluid. Like, you never know what tomorrow brings.
That is so true. Leave us with some takeaways and then wrap us up.
Oh, I'm so good at this. You know I am.
You're the worst.
To be rambling. I think if you are going through a similar season, whether you're more like me or more like Mackenzie, and you think you're ready for that next step and you're kind of navigating how to wait for it, or if you're fully embracing living a single life, or if you're in the mix of kind of like how we both are, which I feel like, and you're tapping into your masculine and your feminine energy at the same time, that's okay. I think a lot of the points we talked about will probably be relatable. And if you're like, I don't relate to any of this, I don't know, maybe we're just like crazy. But I think overall, this is a very relatable topic. I think we go through it a lot, but I don't think it's talked about a lot. And so I think we need to normalize it being okay to be masculine and feminine in the same day, life.
Day.
I don't know. Literally day.
Life. No, literally day of in the office, at home.
Yeah. If you guys enjoyed this episode, please leave a follow, leave a review. This helps us grow and continue to keep our podcast, especially when we're traveling Asia.
Especially when we are traveling Asia entirely.
It makes us smile. We literally like freak out when we hit new numbers. So we appreciate you guys more than you know. And we're excited to chat more.
Next, we will be coming to you, I think, pretty much like live from Asia.
Yeah.
This will be our last batched episode before we are on the road. I apologize if it's going to be a learning curve for sure. So next episodes will be on a road mic. If the sound sucks, I apologize. These microphones are not coming with us in our literal backpacks for 6 weeks.
We're taking a backpack.
We are taking a backpack.
Yeah.
Maybe 2. We're taking a backpack.
I think a fun episode to do when we get there is kind of how we we haven't packed. We leave in 2 weeks. We have not done a single thing. So like,
we don't even own backpacks, you guys.
I don't even have a backpack.
Traveling
I'm like,
backpacks.
I don't even know how big. I have no idea what's happening. So
I'm not a backpacker. I'm a boutique hostel girl. Also, we're saying backpacking. We are not
We're not staying in hostels.
We're not staying in hostels.
Or the side of the road.
I'm going to force her to stay in one hostel because she's never done it before.
Yeah.
But
I'm not a hostel girl at all.
You got to experience it.
I will.
I could see you being a hostel girl more than me.
Really?
And the up and down look you just gave me is crazy.
I didn't even mean that. But you've traveled. Like,
yeah.
I haven't traveled
but
like
I'm
that.
more type A, like, than you sometimes.
Yeah, that's true. But I feel like I'm just like, I don't know. Not like that. I don't know. I've never experienced anything like this. Like, you've traveled to like places even alone, like solo traveled. Yeah. And so, yeah, I don't know. We'll see what to expect.
That is true. I will be educating Alexis on a lot of things. I walked her through today. I was like, hey, by the way, we have to make like a rules list of like expectations of what we're going through. So we like stay friends after this because we have a podcast together. So we like can't hate each other.
I'm so type B, like you said. So like,
yeah.
Tell me the like rule. I literally was going to ask you because she's been planning everything. Like, we have a document. I don't even know how many pages. 8 pages now.
Yeah,
like,
there's a
every
checklist.
Place we're going, everything we're doing. I'm like, do you want me to like try to research stuff or like do you like that?
I'm
because I feel bad. I'm like just like
totally fine
riding on your itinerary.
That works. Not maybe like as long as you follow the rules, it'll all be fine.
What rules?
Not rules. Just don't ditch me and be like, bye, I'm leaving. That's basically my one thing.
No, I'm just kidding.
Just walk me back to the place first.
Girl, I would never. Also, like I just said this whole episode, I don't want to. My
friend had her GoPro stolen by a 6'5" Australian man, so
can't be trusted.
Came over to her house and stole her GoPro. Walked her home, took her GoPro.
No, I will not be searching for a man in Asia. This is for me.
This is for me.
All right. Well, DM us questions. If you guys have questions about Asia,
yeah,
we'll probably do like a little poll or like a question box, but I'm excited.
I'm so excited. We will chat with you guys next week and let's chat soon.
Love you guys. Bye.
At Arizona State University, we're bringing world-class education from our globally acclaimed faculty to you. Ranked #1 in innovation for 10 consecutive years and #2 among public universities for employability. ASU isn't just ahead of the curve. It's creating new paths to success. Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online, that's a degree better. Explore more than 300 undergraduate, graduate, and certificate programs at asuonline.asu.edu.